What? X-Harper, WWE2k19. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you had a good Sunday. I didn't end up posting anything yesterday, unfortunately, because actually where I do a lot of my streaming and my video content, the room itself is quite open, so there's another room next door that you can easily hear the noise. So basically there was loads going on in the house, and it just meant that I couldn't actually do any streaming yesterday, because you just would have heard loads of noise from people. It would have been ultra frustrating, both for you and especially for me, because I hate it when people are talking in the background and I can't focus on what I'm trying to say to you lovely people. So let's get on with ECW. Booking week 2. It's exciting moving in to this week on my universe mode. I'm having a good time with it so far. Doing a lot more streaming than I actually realized I would do, but that's okay. I hope you guys are enjoying the experience so far. As I've always said, leave comments, click the like button, click the dislike button, but please, if you do, make sure you let me know some feedback. What am I doing wrong? What could I do better? I always want to try and improve. I've had some good feedback so far from people talking to me about commentary, potentially doing some live stream commentary with the events that I'm doing. I'm thinking about it, but unless I start getting more people request that, I'm not going to do it just yet. So if you want it, you're going to have to ask for it and demand it from me. Anyway, let's start with our ECW weekly event, just to give you the context of how this sits in the calendar for those of you who don't know. The reason this says week 2 is because I actually started streaming here where the red square is. I know it's actually, technically it's my 4th week in the actual universe mode, but we will forget that for now. It's my 2nd week of streaming. We had WCW Nitro go live a few days ago on Saturday, which was a blast. It was a huge event. It was an hour and a half of an event, and I actually did the maths and realized that if you added all of the little segments in from real life, you'd be pushing close to like a 2-hour show, maybe even a 2-hour show. And I was like, man, that was 1 hour off of the whole show, how it normally would be on a Monday night. So maybe it was a bit too long. I don't know. If you think it was too long, let me know. But people watched it, no complaints so far, so I'm happy. ECW is a much smaller show, though, with 5 matches rather than the 7 on the match card for Nitro. Also, there's obviously the context that Bash at the Beach WCW event is happening on Sunday in my universe mode, so it's really important that all of the rivalries, all of the matchups for Bash at the Beach were set up appropriately. ECW, therefore, this week is a little bit slower, although they are building to their own event, which is Capital Punishment next month. So that's a couple of weeks away. So all of the focus in ECW is now going towards Capital Punishment. For WWE, all of the focus is still miles away. 4 weeks off at the King of the Ring. I can't wait to show you that event. There's something that I do in this event that I know you guys are going to enjoy. The way that I structure the event, the way that I use it parallel, the way that I include my actual King of the Ring event into my universe mode. I don't do it, technically it's not official. I obviously just have a workaround for myself to make it feel real. But when I broadcast, you will see exactly what I do. And it's quite long, but it's a really, really fun event. That event actually usually goes for 2 hours plus, so just be careful when you go and watch King of the Ring, because that one's going to be a long-ass event. Anyway, this week, back to where we were, ECW. One thing I noticed yesterday, I actually created these matches last night, and then when I came into the game this morning, I realized and noticed a little error that happens in universe mode. So be careful of this if you're booking your matches, and then let's say you go out of the game, play another game, come back later. Just be aware that the title bout matches that you have, any championship match, the title bout, for some reason, the game just takes it off. So for my hardcore title match that you can see in front of you, when I first came in this morning, that belt wasn't there. It wasn't a title match. It was just a normal. It was exactly everything else was the same, except the belt wasn't on the line. So make sure that when you're on the game, that you're actually looking out for whether the title matches, especially if you're coming back into the game after going into another game or just going to bed or whatever you've done that's taking you away from your computer, just check that. Make sure that the title match is still applied, and if it's not, reapply it. That's all I've done. So my first match of the evening is for the ECW Hardcore title, which is a belt that I created. You can get it on Community Creations if you like. It's sort of doing okay at the moment. It's doing better than I thought, because honestly, there's a lot of irony behind the idea of how can you have a hardcore title in a hardcore brand? I mean, it's a bit of a weird thing, but I like to have a hardcore belt because there's one in WE, there's one in WCW, and it just makes sense that there's like an Extreme Championship. Maybe I should have called it the Extreme Championship. I don't know, but the point is, I've got a belt on the game, it's there, and at the moment Sabu holds that title. In my universe mode, these four guys that you see in front of you, R-Truth, Papa Shango, Rhino and Sabu, are the guys that are battling it out for the belt. Sabu and Rhino have a very intense rivalry personally with each other. However, in what I wanted to do, and because you can't make multiple man rivalries, I've basically included Papa and R-Truth. I think both R-Truth and Papa Shango's characters are perfect for ECW. I think that they naturally lean into the brand and the vibe of what ECW is supposed to be. So that's why I put those two in ECW. It also makes use of extra characters in terms of Papa Shango. I can't be putting him in WE and having all of his iterations of characters in the same brand. I've already got Kama Mustafa and the Godfather, which hurts my insides a little bit, but I couldn't do three. It would be impossible, even though Papa Shango is the least looking like the Godfather of all three of the characters. It is what it is. Anyway, that was the first match of the evening. Take a look at that. It is a title match. It's going to be a big deal. Second match of the night is a ranking match in my tag team universe for ECW. I will show you this one right now. So if we go into edit divisions and go across to the tag division, you'll see the Revival there and the Wyatt Family are closely behind. So that is just a match for the number 2 contender, I guess it is, but I've got a lot of rivalries being built at the moment, so I'm trying to establish rankings and see what happens there. So that'll be a good match. It's an Extreme Rules tag match. That'll be a lot of fun. Next up, the ECW Cruiserweight title match. Yes, this is a belt that I created. You can get it on Community Creations. It's actually getting quite a lot of downloads at the moment, which is really fun for me. I'm enjoying, especially with the design. I looked at it and just thought, actually, it looks really cool. So I hope people are liking it. But the point here is that Tye Dillinger is the ECW Cruiserweight Champion at the moment. So what I've done, I've created a 6-man elimination hardcore match. And this is going to be, I'm sure, as JR would say, a barn burner. This is kind of an event I'm looking forward to. Even though I'm not really that interested in any of these wrestlers personally. Tye Dillinger I'm actually getting more into now the more I play with him on the game. But I don't know, it's just a fun concept and the match looks good. The fact that I don't really know any of them isn't a problem to me, but it's just this idea that it's a really fun match in the middle of the card. Gives a lot of excitement to what should already be a good event anyway, but watch out for that. The next match is The Miz versus Braun Strowman in a backstage brawl. This is a one-on-one, obviously. No title on the line. Braun Strowman is the ECW television title holder, which again, you can download from Community Creations. That's actually my best belt on the game. It's had over 1,000 downloads so far, so go and get that one if you haven't got it and you've got ECW in your universe mode. But essentially what this is, in my universe mode, for the ECW television title, I've got like another sort of four-way rivalry going down, and this involves characters like The Miz, John Cena, Braun Strowman, and Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And basically, what I do, this belt has no particular short-term rivalry. It's a long-term rivalry all the way up until Extreme Mania. And what happens is I've just basically said I'm going to flip out different wrestlers, create different rivalries as we go, but on the premise the 4 of them will always be in the main title picture. And so this time The Miz, angry at Braun Strowman and just being The Miz in general, wants to attack him, wants to prove his worth, prove that he's worth a title shot, etc, etc. And so he is going to have a backstage brawl with Braun. Let's see who wins that match. Now, for the final match, the main event of the evening, we've got Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar. I'm terrible at accents, but I'd like to try them anyway. Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, they're in an ongoing rivalry for the main title at the moment. There are other people involved with this title at the moment. Basically, Taz, AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, Batista, any one of those guys is going to hold the title at any one time. But this is a big rivalry. And for tonight, we're going to see what the game's cooked up. The game has created this rivalry match, so I'm just going to sort of go with it tonight. I genuinely love fighting Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar. I think they have a lot of work together. They do well. They can sell. You know, I think the body of work they've done in real life actually goes to prove the point that these two can really go together. So I just love it when they're fighting each other, and that usually takes preference for me over anyone else. But we're going to see what the game's cooked up for that rivalry. Let's see what happens later. So that is it for ECW booking for week 2. Like I always say, in the comment section, in the description section below this video, shortly after it's uploaded, what you'll find in there is all of the results for these matches. Literally all I do is put the name of the winner and then just a W to show you that they've actually won the match. Now, sometimes it doesn't always work, because the game, for whatever reason, things happen. There was one incident where the game glitched on me when I was trying to kick out of a pinfall I was putting on someone, and it just didn't allow me to kick out for some reason. It's done it twice now, so it's clearly a common glitch or a common bug in the game. And what's happening is, it just meant that the guy I wanted to win didn't win the match. So if you do see discrepancies on the description, it's usually because there's been a mistake in the way that the game's played out rather than something that I've done wrong. Because I'm looking at it constantly. I know who I want to win each match, but if I can't physically kick out, I'm not prepared to just restart the match in a live video for the sake of it. I'd rather just sort of roll with the punches and say, okay, mistakes happen, the game's done it again, it's fine, we move on, and I just adjust for the next event in the next week. So if you do see anything different, that's why. I apologise for anything like that may happen. It's not my fault, I promise. And that's it. And like I said, just you can either look at the spoilers in the description and just watch who's going to win the match without watching live, or you can wait until, I don't know, about half an hour later from right now. I'm going to that's 30 minutes, by the way, for anybody who doesn't understand that. I'm going to have a live event of ECW, so you'll get to actually watch this event live as well. It's really up to you how you watch my content. I would appreciate your feedback, just to let me know which one you prefer, if you prefer any, and why. All this feedback stuff helps me just to grow and to keep producing stuff that you guys want to see. So I hope you enjoyed the video. You have been awesome. I am X Harper, and until very soon. What?